6. Well, now for a closer look at where to put your money, let's bring in Tom Lydon. He is president of Global Trends Investments and editor and proprietor of ETFtrends.com. He is also author of the book, The ETF Following Playbook. And joining us, Matt Hogan. He is editor-in-chief of Index Universe. He is in Boston. Good to see you both. Matt, let me start with the M&A news. We just had the CEO of Xerox on. What do you think about this deal, the Xerox ACS deal? Is there something going with these M&As?
Well, I would say, that's a little bit outside my zone of expertise, really focused on the ETF space. I think, as interesting as those deals are, as interesting as they point towards sort of a recovery in the market, probably for most investors, it's better to steer clear of those individual stocks, focus on the bigger picture and buy into ETFs. Maybe look into a large cap
We'll
US
talk about
ETF.
ETFs in just a second. But, Tom, what's curious to me is that ACS is trading so far below what Xerox says they'd be willing to pay for it. Does that mean that an individual investor might want to get in right now?
Well, again, I think the key thing here is, David, we're starting to see more M&A activity. As far as going in and trying to make a play on this individual stock, I don't know, but it surely seems that the winds have shifted. As we're seeing more M&A activity, I think for the average investor, it's going to make them feel a little bit more positive about these markets.
Well, Tom, I want to know why, if you're so positive, you're pretty bullish about what's here, why are you going for gold and silver right now?
Well, again, the demand. If you look at demand right around the world, emerging markets are booming. And as more and more individuals are moving into the middle class, right after they buy a cell phone, they're buying gold jewelry. So we see huge amounts of demand overseas. And again, with the dollar declining and gold and silver being denominated in dollars, it makes it less expensive for people to buy it overseas.
All right, Matt, we're going to go to your love now, the ETFs, the exchange-traded funds. And I want to start by talking about Brazil, because a lot of excitement about what's happening in Latin America. We just had news, I don't know if you saw, that China might be investing as much as $1 billion in Latin America right now. You can play it with an ETF in Brazil. Tell us how.
Yeah, I think there are two ETFs in the space. If you're bullish on Brazil, there's a big one, EWZ from iShares, which buys the large cap companies. But I'm actually kind of interested in going more in the riskier names into the small cap space. BRF is the ticker. That buys small cap Brazilian equities. Shows you how you can really target the market with ETFs.
And what does that specifically invest in? Because a lot of people like me who've got experience in Latin America say, there's a lot about Latin America. They cook their books a lot. There's still a lot of questions about rule of law down there. Can you look and see specifically what's there and judge the companies?
You can absolutely dig into the ETF. It's fully transparent. I think the story with Brazil is, the resource economy is picking everybody up. I think the small cap names will benefit, and you can look in and see exactly what you're buying. All
right. Now, Tom, even though you are bullish, there is a bearish play that you have on the U.S. dollar. We were talking about the dollar before, talking about how, in fact, there's so many pressures because of the deficit and no real willingness yet to tackle the deficit either by the Treasury or by the Fed. You've got a bear play on the dollar.
If you're continuing to be concerned about the sliding dollar, and there may be evidence that this may continue, the PowerShares bearish dollar ETF, ticker symbol UDN, it's a way to kind of hedge your purchasing power going forward. And I think it's a great play. Again, just another example how ETFs give us opportunities in asset classes that maybe we didn't have just a few years ago.
Okay, and on a day, of course, when the dollar's doing okay, it was down a little bit today, so maybe you're buying the dip. Tom Lydon, Matt Hogan, good to see you both. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.